Welcome to the new YouTube channel. If you haven't already done it, hit the subscribe button to follow us all season long for updates and content. So happy that you're here. It's going to be a great year. Here we go. Back at it with the Richard Sherman podcast. Got a really special guest, the landlord, Tyrann Mathieu, the Boot's very own. How you been, brother?
Sherm, what's up, brother? I'm doing good, man. I can't complain.
Hey, man, you're balling. You're balling. Getting
Appreciate
your hands
that.
on the football, as always.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate it.
What, you got 2 turnovers in 2 weeks?
Yeah, man. That's not a bad start.
That's not a bad start at all, boy. Anytime you touch that football, I'm grateful.
For sure. Absolutely, man.
How you feeling about everything? Obviously, you know, there was a lot of turmoil last year. Y'all ended the year with some momentum. Looks like y'all starting it with some momentum. Defensively, you know, Paulson Adebo, you getting your hands on the football, the pass rush, and offensively, Raheed Shaheed.
Right. The fast guy.
The fast guy. Man, that boy, he had some heat when I was in Tampa because we were watching tape on him, and that was all he did. And it was like, hey, if he in the game, get to the goal line because that's where he going.
Sure. For sure.
But how you feeling about everything?
Man, I feel great, man. Obviously, man, the last couple of years, man, we kind of struggled to get off to those, good starts to the seasons. And, in the last 2 seasons, man, like early in the season, it kind of bites you in the ass later in the season. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we missing the playoffs by 1 or 2 games. And we look back on a lot of those important, conference games, divisional games early in the year, man. And if anything's different, like that's different. You know what I mean? Like we're off to a much better start. And man, like since the spring, bro, like we've had a lot more buy-in. You know what I mean? And you know what that feels like when, 80, 95% of the team is bought in. Like, outside of, guys' individual ability, that's almost like a super strength, as for a team. You know what I'm saying? Like when you got 90% of the dudes that's just believing in it. You know what I'm saying? And like as you know, man, that gives you like good momentum. It gives you like good juice, you know what I mean, in the locker room. And so yeah, man, just off to a good start.
Man, to walk me through that interception. What were y'all in when you got that? Because it just always looked like you come out of nowhere and book them. Yeah. And I know it ain't just, it always looked like, hey, he just popped up out of nowhere, popped up out the ground.
Yeah, I mean, in that particular situation, we was actually, in like a quarter half, kind of, defense. I think they had like trip slot, to the field. I think CD was at 1. And as you know, man, anytime they put those guys at 1, that's supposed to be at 2 or 3, he's usually like coming in. You know what I'm saying? So, I think as the backside safety, just kind of understanding, like what defense we was in and what route combination was going to come off of that, just kind of helps you anticipate, the throwing windows and where to kind of get to. And we was in a perfect play call, you know what I mean, for me to just kind of sit in my quarter and really just read the quarterback and be able to help those guys on those over routes and dig routes that was coming. Because like I said, they were in 2-man on that particular play. So, the other side of the field is always like the hardest routes for those guys to cover.
Right. And I mean, people don't give you enough credit. I obviously do because I didn't play the game at a high level and you've played the game at an incredibly high level. And I see your tape. You know what I mean? You can tell what you're reading, what you're seeing, what you're recognizing, why you're in the window you are. But talk about the mental side of this game and how that's giving you an edge throughout your career to just make these plays. Because like I said, that was your 34th interception.
Yeah. I mean, for me, man, I always think about the guys that were like teachers to me, that were kind of instrumental, in me, just developing, mentally, you know what I mean? Because for a while, man, like you rely so much on athleticism until you get into a one-on-one matchup with a guy where athleticism doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, man, when I came into the league, obviously it was a great situation for me, but I was behind a guy named Rashad Johnson who had played for Nick Saban. He was like a walk-on, then he became like this All-American. Like he had a cool story. But, when I jumped off the bus, man, my rookie year, and they had me play free safety, I realized early on that the NFL didn't really have a lot to do with like athleticism and you know what I'm saying? Like that
Mm-hmm.
wasn't always the reason guys was making plays and like
Right.
being in the right spot at the right time. And I think just being able to sit behind Rashad, man, and see how seriously he took it from a mental standpoint. I had a lot of injuries early on in my career. You know what I'm saying? Like I tore my ACL twice within like the first 2-3 years of my career, and so I wasn't always in a position to feel athletically inclined. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So,
Yeah.
I think mentally, man, like early on, I had to take it to the next level because I couldn't always rely on, just athleticism.
But take me back to your time at LSU because you had some very high moments at the end. You were up for the Heisman. I still think
Yeah.
you should have won it. And you had some low moments. Talk to me about how you worked through that and how it helped you develop into who you are today. Because it just seems like winning follows you wherever you go.
Yeah, man. I think that my journey at LSU, man, like, I'm always so grateful of it. You know what I'm saying? Because, man, it allowed me to grow, right? Like, as a football player, of course, you know what I'm saying? Because it puts you on this stage where, man, all you got to do is make a few plays and, everybody knows your name. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And, also early on, man, I had a lot of different experiences. You know what I'm saying? Like not all
Mm-hmm.
of them were good.
Right.
And so I think you kind of begin to, learn valuable lessons. You know what I'm saying? And, I see so many kids coming to the league, right? And they just can't figure it out. But me, I was so thankful and grateful that I went through it at LSU. You know what I'm saying? Because by the time I got to the league, man, like I was really able to kind of take it serious, man, and treat it as a
Right.
job. And so, but yeah, man, like the people at LSU, like, we still close. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like that place will always be, one of those places, man. Like I'm gonna tell my grandkids about, you know what I'm saying, LSU, right? And
I mean,
so I learned a lot, man. I grew a lot. I learned a lot. I just made it work.
how did you get through those ACLs early in your career? Because, like you said, you had two of them. And I mean, two ACLs within a span of 3 years, just that rehab process, just the timeless hours of by yourself, doubting yourself, and then digging
Yeah,
yourself out of that hole and then going back in the hole and digging yourself out, man. That had
yeah,
to be tough.
man. It was tough, man. And for me, man, I was thankful that I kind of went to the situation that I went to, with Bruce Arians and Nick Rapone and Kevin Ross, and really, man, like since the first day, it was always kind of bigger than football. You know what I'm saying with us, and when I went through those challenges early on, like those guys allowed me to be human.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? And I'm so thankful. I look back on that and I'm so grateful for it. You know what I'm saying? Like just their grace in like those moments. You know what I'm saying?
right,
And it helped me appreciate them. Like those are
right,
relationships that, I still have like to this day, And so but yeah, man, like I felt like I could be human. And I felt like it wasn't always all about football,
right,
especially with Bruce Arians. Like he wanted to know how my kids were doing. Like how was I doing? Like, you know what I'm
right,
saying? Like, was I treating my girl good? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and
right,
so, when I went through those moments, man, that was another one of those moments that allows you to grow, way, way beyond the football field. But I always think about the people that was around me during that time, man. And it was always like encouraging, uplifting. You know what I mean? Like
mm-hmm.
they knew my best days weren't behind me. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so, man, that was so encouraging, especially when I was going through those hard, tough injuries.
TD, Tutty, taking it to the house, in for 6. Whatever you want to call a touchdown, one thing's for sure, touchdowns matter more at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. On the ground, in the air, from special teams or defense, we don't care how they score them. We just want to bet on touchdowns. And DraftKings Sportsbook is the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first NFL bet? Try something simple, like a player to score a touchdown. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your bet today. Ready to do a touchdown dance of your own? New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $250 in bonus bets instantly and get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Richard. That's code Richard for new customers to get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5, and you get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Football season is here, and Game Time has you covered. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your team play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out all the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code Sherman for $20 off. Terms apply. Again, create an account and use the redeem code SHERMAN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. I mean, you talk about Coach Rapone and Rock, Kevin Ross. Like, yeah. I got a chance to have a cup of coffee with them boys out in Tampa, because you know they moved the whole crew from AZ to Tampa with Bruce and now Todd running the show. So, yeah, you know, we share war stories about our battles, but it was so cool to just see how Coach Rapone, man, he got those boys dialed in, no safety. He shows such a godfather, care for these guys. And if you talk to those guys in Tampa, boy, they swear by Rapone. If you talk to Antoine Winfield or you talk to Jordan Whitehead, boy, you can't say a bad word about Rapone. You shouldn't be able to. Yeah. So that's really cool to hear you say that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's a good dude. And Rock is crazy as all get out, boy. I love him too. Right. Bowles is really a mad scientist, though.
Hey, man.
Like, he a mad scientist. I got a lot of respect for him.
I think every coaching staff should have at least one Nick Rapone and one Kevin Ross. You know what I mean?
I agree. I fully agree, boy. Look, y'all had incredibly talented defenses. And in Arizona, you got there. I mean, when you got there, it was up and down. It was just like I was in Seattle. Like, they weren't winning a lot of football games. They weren't winning. Then you got there. Y'all going to the playoffs consistently. Y'all made the run to that NFC Championship game. How was your time there playing with Pat P? And, you know what I mean? Y'all two of the best to ever come out of LSU and two of the best players to ever play in the National Football League. How was that, just being in the same secondary and getting to learn from one another, getting to share the field?
Man, it was a blessing, man, because really, you know, outside of Pat P, you know, like we were just talking about Rashad earlier, you know, we had Gerard Powers, you know, so that was like an all SEC, you know, defensive backfield. So we always, that always kind of played with our ego, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And, you know, Tony Jefferson, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we had some great players, you know, Calais Campbell, John Abraham, like, you know what I mean? Cromartie played with us. Like, so, man, like, I always look back on that, and, you know, I'm so thankful for it, bro. Like, because, you know, beyond football, man, like, those dudes, they were a good group of guys, man. They showed you how to be professional. You know, they showed you how to put together 8, 9, 10-year career. You know, I remember playing with Tyrann Branch, who, you know, wasn't a household name, but, you know, here's a guy that was inspirational to me, because I'm looking at him saying, man, this guy played 11 years in the league. Like, this man made millions. Like, he's done right by himself. Like, so, you know, this idea of, like, you know, being a superstar, that's not always attainable. You know what I'm saying? But I had so many different examples of, you know, guys that weren't superstars, but, man, they put together a nice career, a good career, a career they could be proud of. And like I said, I was inspired from, like, day one. You know what I'm saying? Like, Larry Fitzgerald, like, you know Larry, man. And
yes,
like, just the ability to be in the same room with him, you know what I mean? Like gives you, you know, so many different opportunities and resources and wisdom. You know what I mean? So, man, I always think about those guys. That was probably, like, some of the most fun football, you know, I've ever played, because I was literally playing with, like, best friends. You know what I mean?
No, I feel the exact same way, and I know exactly what you mean. Do you feel like you took some of those lessons to Kansas City with you, and how was that experience? Because they give you a lot of credit for turning that defense around, changing that culture, changing the way they thought about things, changing the way they played, and you were able to win there. You know, you saw Pat before everybody else saw Pat. Did you see what you saw now, what you see now, or did it take a second?
Man, I knew Patrick Mahomes was going to be, pretty good. I mean, you recognize that early on. Like, he's one of those dudes that he practiced how he's going to play. You know what I mean? And man, like it was fun being his teammate. Like, every game I went into, I knew we had a chance. Like, that was fun. I think for me, man, I look back on my Kansas City experience, and outside of Coach Reed, man, Coach Spags, man, like he was one of the coaches um, that really gave me the keys, man. Like, he really allowed me to be that middle fielder, center fielder for his defense. You know what I mean? Like, and really take control and own it. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
man, I was so proud to be able to have that opportunity, right? And capitalize on it. You know what I'm saying? And because we all want it, like, we all want that opportunity, right? But like, how many times do we really, seize that moment? And, for me, man, that's one of those things I look back on and I say, man, like, I'm so proud of my 3 years, in Kansas City, because, man, I did everything I signed up to do.
Right.
I did everything that I was promised I was going to do. I did it. And it was fun, man. Like, I've really enjoyed, I mean, as you know, man, it's always fun when you win.
Always.
But, when you're kind of like leaving a mark as you're winning, like, those are the things that, you're really proud of, because, you recognize, like, man, everybody around the whole world is seeing this, that they're seeing me leave a mark, leaving a legacy. And so, yeah, I'm just grateful for that, man, for that opportunity to be able to do that.
They give you a lot of credit, and they give you a lot of credit for making this defense what it is. Spags, I've heard him give you credit. I've heard Andy Reid. I've heard other players talk about the impact that you had changing the culture there. And sometimes, it's very few times you come to a team late in your career or in the middle of your career and then leave, and you have what most people would say a great ending for both sides, where both sides say, hey, I love you to death. I love you too. I got to go somewhere else. But what we did, baby, we here. We here. I'll be back. They're going to bring you back and to put you in a ring of honor, to talk about the championship, for the Super Bowl reunions and all that. And that's going to be a really cool relationship. And then you get a chance to go play home.
Yeah.
And now you're trying to bring a championship home. What is the energy like in that building? Like you just said, everybody's buying in, and it does matter for the culture. It matters in those hard games when you get and the chips are against the wall and everything going wrong, and boys ain't turning on each other, boys patting each other on the back and like, hey, come on now, let's dig ourselves out the hole together. Do you feel that special energy from this team?
Man, for sure. And man, I felt it, really kind of started in the spring. And then training camp, we ended up going to California for like a little bit over a month. And I think, man, just that really kind of forced everybody to bond, like coaches and players, like players amongst players, you know what I mean? And like, man, we had a good time. Like, you know what I mean? And like, we recognized and we realized, like, we didn't see our kids for a month, but man, like, we was legit having a good time. You know what I mean? And we were working very, very hard. And so like, I just feel like once we got back to New Orleans, man, like, it just kept rolling. You know what I mean? Like, the offense just kept getting better. And it's a beautiful thing, man, when your team is excited to come to work every day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I don't think every NFL team has that, or like, maybe some fans don't understand what I'm talking about, but it's like, yeah, like, that matters. You know what I mean? And so,
100%.
man, you can just see the energy. The whole energy is different, man. And like, the last couple of years, man, like we played in a lot of close ball games. Like, we were a bad team because we didn't know how to win. You know what I mean? Like, we couldn't finish games. Like, we weren't a bad team because we didn't have the players or the coaches. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, I just feel like, man, we took a lot of pride, you know what I'm saying, in this off season. We had a lot of dudes show up, for voluntary things. You know what I mean? Like, and that's a big deal in 2024, because guys could, like, I mean, this whole world is like offering you free distractions. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, for guys to be able to show up in 2024, like that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You got to tip your hat to them.
they probably could be doing anything they want to do in the world right now, man. So,
Right.
man, you could just see a lot of guys, man, like they're committed, like they've recommitted. That's fun to see, man, especially as like a team captain. You know what I mean? Because now I don't necessarily have to give any rah-rah speeches. You know what I mean? Like, and because those don't always work. But it's been fun, man, coming to work every day.
Yeah, you can't light no fire up on no pros.
No.
Like either they got it and you can steer them in the right direction, or you ain't got it and y'all ain't got a chance. But it's been really cool to watch. Y'all, I can't say y'all couldn't have expected that, but you rarely get blowouts in the NFL, especially going against really good teams, really talented teams. You rarely go in, you might play a really bad team and y'all feel like y'all in rhythm and you just like, hey, this one might get out of hand if we can do this, this, and that. But tell me about this Dallas game, because it looked like y'all were in control from start to finish. And to your point about the energy, it just looked like boys was out there having a good time. It wasn't even like they were trying to showboat anything. They weren't doing nothing crazy. Derek Carr getting in there and doing the Michael Jackson. I said, okay, I done seen it all.
Yeah, man. Like those games are fun. Obviously we started the season off with a divisional game. And I don't care what anybody says. The Panthers, like they always played us tough. And so they got good players too, and they get paid too. And I think the Dallas game, that's one of those team, morale boosters, right? Like, because they are, a really, really, really good football team. They win a lot of games at home. Every year it seems as if they're punching their ticket, to the playoffs, right? Like, and like we knew it was going to be a big challenge. Two of the highest paid players, on offense side of the ball. And, I think as a defense, man, like we recognize that we're a top 5, top 10 defense, but we feel in our hearts that like, man, we could be number 1. So how can we get there? That's been our message, really since the spring, man. It's like, how can we absolutely win every play? You know what I mean? Like, and it's impossible. But I think, man, just kind of setting that challenge for us each and every week, man. I think defensively, man, like it's just really allowing us to just play fast, man. You know what I mean? And I think Dennis Allen does a great job, man. Like he's such a great defensive mind. Like people really don't give him enough credit, for his scheme and just the different things that he does within, his quarter schemes and cover 2 schemes that, a lot of other teams probably don't do it the same. And so we feel like we got an advantage, you know what I mean, as a defense. And, I think anytime your offense is doing well, man, that only adds to, the feeling of how we already feel.
Right. I mean, it looked like that. It looks like y'all energy is right where it needs to be. Y'all rolling. Obviously, this division's getting tougher by the day. You got Kirk Cousins in Atlanta now. They found a way to win last night. You got Tampa and Baker, and they doing their thing. But yeah, I mean, I feel really good about what y'all doing. How much longer are you trying to play?
Man, to be honest, man, I always wanted to play 12 to 15 years. And I think for me, man, like I think every year I have this itch to coach, because I got 3 sons, right? Like 11, 10, then my youngest son, he's like 4 months. But, I just have this itch to coach, you know what I mean? But man, like every season, man, I find myself challenging myself and actually getting close to those challenges and those goals that I set for myself. And I think the ability to stay productive, you know what I mean? Like, and mentally processing. Like, can I process it mentally at the speed that I know is acceptable for me? Wow. And so I think, man, as long as I can kind of do those 2 things, man, like, maybe I'll play to year 15, if God says the same. Obviously you have to stay healthy. But it gets harder and harder every year, bro, because I'm like, man, I want to coach so bad, bro. And then you get on TV and it's like, bro, you see so much bad football.
Bad football.
And I'll be like, bro, like, can I help? Can I help these kids, please, man? Like, I know I got a nugget for them that could just get them, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, like, I can't wait to hopefully, coach one day, man. You know what I mean?
Understand this.
Like,
Understand
this.
this.
Something I wanted to do.
It ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere.
Right.
Get what you got to get out of this game.
Yeah.
Now, your sons, on the other hand, they might get you to get out of there a little early and say, hey, Dad, you better, hey, I want you to sit there and give me what you got. I'm Tyrann Mathieu's son, and they know I'm your son. They want to see me doing what you've been doing. So get me where I need to be. That'd be the thing. I'd be sitting there talking to my son. They'd be like, Dad, I don't want to play corner. It's hard. But everybody wants me to be a corner because you was a corner. I said, son, if you would have saw me at 9, I don't even think I was a corner. I think I was a must play. And a bitch. Maybe it started happening for me in high school, but that's really cool. What's your goals? What's those goals you're trying to hit?
For me, I think this season, man, obviously, man, I want to help my team make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's one of the main goals. You know what I mean? And I think from there, man, obviously you want to have a chance to play for the trophy. You know what I'm saying? And obviously the Super Bowl's in New Orleans, and like it'll just be a perfect, story. You know what I mean?
It would.
But I recognize like how much work that really takes, man. You know what I mean? And me too, man. I think, man, if I can continue to play like at an all-pro level, man, and I can make another all-pro team, I think I'll be like one of the first dudes to make it like 3 times with like 3 different teams. You know what I mean? So like those are like things that's important to me. You know what I mean? Like I want to be the best version of myself, for my teammates. You know what I'm saying? And not even mentioning the fact that like every day of my life I'm representing New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? Like this is my life, and so it's a lot that goes into that, man. So just trying to be the right dude, the right teammate, but yeah, man, like if I could continue to just make plays. And my biggest goal coming into the season was how can I get to 40 interceptions. So I'm like, man, I'm like 7 away.
7 away.
So I got one last week. So Alante Taylor, he told me after I caught my pick, he was like, 6 more to go, OG. So, hopefully, man, I can get to 40, man, so I can represent, our generation, man. You know what I mean? Like so many great defensive backs, like from our generation, man, that like really, I remember, man, like not to get off track, but I remember being on the field playing against you guys, bro, twice a year. And I remember just watching that, like from afar, thinking that, man, like how can I get to that point, right? Like, and I remember the communications, and the way you guys were like just in sync. I've watched you plenty third downs, just completely just like every step you took, I was watching it. You know what I mean? And man, y'all really inspired me. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate that. I appreciate that. It means a lot.
Y'all made it so fun to play defensive back. You know what I'm saying? And it's different, man. In college, like I feel like I was that guy. But when I got to the league, I felt like I had to start all over. But I felt like I had an advantage because I'm like, man, I'm on a team with Patrick Peterson. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm getting to watch the Legion of Boom twice a year, like up close and personal. You know what I mean? And like I feel like I had to cheat. People ask me like, how you still playing? And I'm like, man, ever since a youngster, like I just been kind of soaking up, game from like so many different players, man. But like what you guys were able to do, like, man, y'all inspired an entire generation, like of kids that just wanted to play DB like that. You know what I'm saying? And I was always proud of that, to be able to compete against y'all and, catch it. I remember one time I caught an intercept, right? And I'm like, I'm running back to the sideline, like, man, I know Sherman saw that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure saw
like, you know what I'm saying? And so it's fun, man, playing against guys that, you truly you emulate and you respect them. You know what I mean? And so it's kind of cool.
Bro, that you have no idea. You got me emotional over here. I'm gonna hold it together till we finish this. But that means so much to me, bro. I felt the same way. We felt the same way because we watched y'all defense, bro. It was always like we was battling with y'all back and forth.
Sure.
y'all be shutting our offense shit down. We got to turn around. We like, hey, we got to make a play. They just made 2 plays. Like, hey, Tyrann on one today. Pat. Like it was fun, bro. It was so much respect and regard in our conference. There's so much great DB play, bro. We watched you from growing up. We watched you in college. We watched you making plays at LSU. Bro, you've been such an impactful player and a real standard of DB play. I mean, all the way before I think you were even thinking about being a standard of DB. You were wearing 14.
Right.
You know,
right, yeah.
you've been a standard, and I'm really proud. And you know, it might not mean nothing to you, but I'm proud to see you continue to play at a high level. I'm proud to see what you did in Kansas City and everything you were able to accomplish with the D coordinators that you played with, bro. You've really set the standard, and you've personally inspired a lot of kids to know that, hey, it don't matter where you get drafted. It don't matter how big, how small you are. You can make the biggest impact for a very long time in the National Football League. And bro, you can't imagine how incredible that is. And bro, you still doing it. Like you got 6 more to go. And I know you're gonna get them.
Gotta get there, man. Gotta get there.
You're gonna get them, bro. You're gonna get them. And I can't wait to see it. I might have, hopefully it's because we got y'all game against Denver in New Orleans, you know, when Sean coming back. So I know it's gonna be packed in the house. It's gonna be crazy. Yeah, I ain't gonna try to annoy you for a tunnel talk this time.
No, but good.
I'm gonna see you for sure.
Yes, indeed, brother.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. I know you're busy on your day off. I really appreciate you taking this time with me.
Oh man, appreciate you, brother. Anytime, man. Anytime, bro.
Yes, sir. When y'all make the playoffs, I'm calling you back and we're doing another.
For sure. It's all good. It's all good, dog.
That was good. That was good.
All right, brother. Appreciate it.